Today, we are pleased to have with us Marcelo Butta, the director of movie Betania, and Joshua Trigg, the director of the movie Satu, Year of the Rabbit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the prestigious platform of International Film Festival of India.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Before the press conference begins, I wish to let you know that this press conference is being live streamed so that film lovers and our friends in media can access the proceedings remotely. I request the audience to keep their phones on silent. Now, coming to the synopsis of the movie, uh, first, Bethania. Bethania is a 65-year-old family matriarch who's undergoing a turbulent ride on the ever shifting sands of time. In the wake of her husband's death, Bethania is forced to move back to the village where she was born, leaving behind a lifetime of memories. Pushed by the ancestral sound of Maranyu, Bethania and her family fight to maintain balance and a sense of identity while tradition and modernity collide. Despite the imposing sand dunes, polluted water, financial hardship, and generational quarrels, life finds a way, as it always does. Now, the synopsis of Satu, Year of the Rabbit. Bo, a Laotian teenager with an abusive father, wants to study journalism at the University of Hanoi, Vietnam. As part of the application, she needs to send in a photojournalistic piece. Inspired by a project that could see her escape grimness, she sets off on a journey that takes her to the Fa Thang temple, where she meets the young orphan Satu, taken in as a baby by the head monk. As the village tries to sort out the problem of unexploded bombs unearthed by floods, Bo agrees to head north with Satu in search of his mother. Satu hoping to find answers, Bo looking to carve out a story. Now, moving on to our delegates, our guests, I wish you to give your opening remarks. First, Marcelo Butt.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. And Betania, 3 years after the fiction feature, we made this documentary in 2018. And it was very important for me, this process to making the documentary like a preparation, like a research to make the feature film. And Maranhão, it's a very special state of Brazil, and this national park with sand dunes and blue and green lagoons, looks like a paradisiacal place. But the film is about the culture of this village, the people who lives in these villages, and this family, and it's about hope because we are facing climate changes, wars, and a lot of problems in the humanity. And I think we must look to these isolated communities when they have their culture preserved, and in the power of the community and the family. Without this, the presence of the state, they manage everything. And I think we can look to these isolated places to learn about adaptation and resilience. And they are moving their houses because of the sand dunes that were moving all the time and coming. So it's about transformation, but it's about hope also.
Now, Joshua Trigg.
Actually, it's really interesting because it makes sense that we're on this panel together because both our films share. I haven't seen your film yet, and you haven't seen my film, but there are things in common for sure. And actually, the background of Satu, in the background of the film, there's similar themes of climate change and how it's affecting smaller communities and definitely countries that have less resources to solve those problems with ease. And so in Satu, and it's very much the mise en scène, it's the background of the story, but it's still important. I wanted to put it in there, but at the same time, because I'm not from Laos, it's not my place to comment on it politically. But it needs to be there because that's the truth, right? So it's the most bombed country in the world per capita. And so, yeah, it has to be a problem in the film that they are overcoming in the background. But yeah, because there's constant floodings from climate change, they're becoming more and more areas that were previously safe because of they would explode the bombs to make it more safe, but now new ones are being unearthed that they didn't know were there. So it's becoming dangerous again in safe places. So yeah, in a similar way, like it changes the shape of the landscape where they can kind of like function, right? So sadly, that's a man-made problem being made worse by climate change. But yeah, so it's very much in the background. But ultimately, I tried to focus on the kind of universal story of this boy trying to find his mother. That's kind of a key. That's what I wanted to focus on because I didn't want to. It's not my place to talk about that stuff, but I can't ignore those things too. It's my responsibility to keep it there too. So it's just trying to shed light on problems that people aren't really aware of. I think, and that's really important, especially like you said, especially now. And something that's so beautiful about coming to international film festivals like this is that you get to meet directors from all over the world, and I think everyone, forget the politics, feel the same, that we have to help create conversation around all these important subjects and find middle ground and diplomacy to help us all. It's not even, that's the crazy thing, it's for all of us, right? So I actually think it's an exciting time to be a filmmaker, but yeah, also quite a sad time.
Thank you, Marcelo and Joshua, for those insightful thoughts. Now let's play the trailers of the movies. Lights dim, please.
Aqui na Betânia, canário não canta só. Em cima daquela serra, já canta dos curiós. Minha avó me conta que já tinha gente morando aqui nos Lençóis quase 200 anos atrás. Foi só em 1982 que criaram o Parque Nacional dos Lençóis. E as pessoas que já moravam aqui foram proibidas de ter água, luz e esgoto.
A barreirinha tem mais estrutura.
Tem mais barulho, Juscelia.
Não tem mais cabimento, essa viver no meio do nada aqui.
Que raio de pescador é esse, homem?
Pescador não faz milagre, não.
A gente precisa ter fé, mãe. Ter fé e trabalhar. Sonhar, a gente deixa pra sonhar quando estiver dormindo.
Filha, on arrive de là, là.
Vocês fazendo zoada no pé do meu vidro, não consigo nem me concentrar direito.
Senhora tal, o que a senhora pretende fazer da sua vida daqui pra frente?
Eu pretendo viver, Ribamar. Viver.
E quando tu sai, a onda balanceia, alegrando a sereia. Fora nos bancos de areia.
Thank you so much.
The next trailer, please. Lights off, please.
Let's back off.
Satu.
ถ้าเจ้าได้ถึงจะย้ายไปอยู่ฮานอยวะแม่นจากนั้นเจ้าก็เป็นอิสระแหละคิดว่าได้ล่ะเจ้าคือสิคิดฮอดหมู่เนาะ
สาธุไม่ขอถามอย่างตัวเนี้ยได้บ่
ถามมาถามได้เลย
เป็นอย่างตัวคืออยากตามหาแม่ของตัว
คิดว่าเขาอยากรู้ว่าตัวเองเป็นไผเป็นหยังคือบ่ปล่อยเฮาไว้ในวัด
แล้วตัวรู้สึกแนวใดที่มาเป็นเด็กสังฆาริวัดแบบนี้
รู้สึกบ่มีค่ารู้สึกบ่เก่งคือคนอื่น
มันบ่แม่นแบบนั้นดอกตัวเป็นคนที่เข้มแข็งแล้วก็ยังรู้เป็นห่วงคนอื่นอีกโอเคคำถามสุดท้าย ตัวคิดว่าเขาสิเจอแม่ตัวบ่แล้วคันเจอเราตัวสิมีความสุขบ่
กะบ่ฮู้แหละ
ตัวว่าเดี๋ยวก็ฮู้เองแหละ
Those were two very intriguing trailers. Thank you so much. Before going to the audience for the questions, Marcelo, I wanted to know. You've told me that Bethania is a landscape also, is a desert, the sand dunes. The area is called Bethania, and you've named the character also Bethania. How do you draw parallels between the character and the landscape in the movie?
Yeah, like the dunes are constantly changing. Betania it's living this moment because she lost her husband, and she is forced to start a new life and a new beginning and change. And like the humanity, you need to change. And we need to change the way, because we are going to a very dangerous zone in climate urgency. And I think Betania, the place, like the isolated places, they are facing the climate changes before, because the dunes are constantly changing their houses. And I think we have much to learn about this situation that we are facing, the climate change, with these people who lives in Lençóis Maranhenses, because of the dunes are constantly changing their lives. And I believe Betania's character represents us as humanity, and the desert is like a representation of the planet. They are changing, and we need to face in this, and we need to help to find some hope. And like the desert in Maranhão, during the rain season we have full lagoons, and the dry season, where we have the lagoons, now we have flower gardens, and it's possible to see flower blossom in this desert. And Betania in this desert is blossom, is starting a new beginning. And I think we as humanity, in this hard situation, you need to start a new beginning, and it's about it.
Thank you so much. Now, Joshua, this movie Satu-Year of Rabbit is in Lao language, and you've written, directed, and produced the movie. How were you able to transcend the barriers, the cultural, the language? Please shed light on this.
I think there's a multitude of things, really. I think, firstly, it's just a personal fascination for other cultures. You have to be intrigued by different places and different peoples to want to make a film like this, right, in the first place. So I spent the last 10 years working mostly in Southeast Asia. So I had been to Laos before. I had worked there before with a team there that I'm very close friends with. The team down there are incredible. There's only a couple of production companies in the country. There's only a couple of cinemas in the country. So there's not much of a, I wouldn't say that it's not a big industry, obviously. You can't compare it to India, for example, at all. So it was really great working down there, meeting people like me. And I think, again, coming back to the beauty of filmmaking, meeting someone halfway across the world from where you live and going, you're like me, but from Laos. We're into this exact same stuff. That's completely insane. And have the same passion for telling stories was really, that's probably the most important part of why the film exists. So there's obviously very physical, simple barriers, but they can all be overcome, right? Like you can overcome those with great ease. So my friends in Laos, they translated the script. We did so much research internally in Laos, back and forth with our team there, making sure everything I wrote was culturally correct. And I wanted to make a film. This is why it was a struggle in the UK to find funding for it, and I funded 85% of it myself through TV commercials and stuff like this, and mini docs and things like this. Was that in the UK, it's a bit difficult for them to wrap, and I think in most film industries, wrap their head around the idea. It's like, how can I fund this as a British film? It's not a British film, it's a Lao film. And I did approach it like that. I want to make a Lao film that makes sense in Lao. Otherwise, what's the point? That's how I feel about it anyway. So that was made it very hard to find funding and stuff like that. So yeah, in terms of the actual physical barriers of making it in another language, there's really boring stuff. Like everything's shot on 16mm film, so we only had enough film to do 3 takes each time. But we also shot with a phone on top of the camera, so that we could shoot one scene because we only had enough to do 3 takes, right? And if you're doing a dialogue scene with kids, that's crazy. And then we can look back on the phone and just go, right, everyone, like, does that sound perfect in Lao to like my Lao friends? And everyone, like, yeah. I'm like, okay, like the acting is great, the response time of everything, and the timing feels natural. And but obviously not putting that pressure onto kids. You can't be like, you've only got 1 take, because they might freak out or something. I don't know. Or you can't put that in their heads, right? So you've got to like let them just like enjoy the process. So yeah, it was lots of like really careful planning, rehearsing, taking our time, and just letting them have natural moments as well. Because if it's unscripted, when we had the unscripted moments, and if they were saying things that were correct or made sense to what they were doing, you can just let it be natural, and then it's going to be right. It's going to be in Lao because they speak Lao. So, but yeah, it was a lot of that took time in the edit as well. So yeah, kind of boring stuff like that, but ultimately an interest in other people's cultures, and I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you. I would like you to know that India is a land of cultures. I hope you'll be attracted to India
I would love
in the
to,
next
yeah.
movies.
Oh, damn right. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, we are the floor is open for questions from the audience. Please give them.
Hi, congratulations on both your films.
Thank you.
My question is to Marcelo. I haven't had the privilege to watch the movie yet, but I noticed in the trailer that there's a certain contrast in the colors you've used. So the cultures, the scenes that depict the daily life and the cultural activities have a lot of vibrance and color, and the scenes that show the dunes are, starkly devoid of colors, if I may say so. That, of course, partly it's by design, by default, because of the landscape. But are you also consciously trying to show, the disparity between the two, or is it there to evoke a sense of doom? Is that part of the thought process in depicting it?
Yes, nice question. Thank you for your question. Yeah, actually, the film is about contrasts. I think I have a lot of day and night scenes, and quiet scenes, and scenes with a lot of music. And I want to make this perception of the timing passing. And it's more than a story, but it's a sensation. I try to put the people who are watching the film into this place and feeling like the timing passing, and how it's how it's living in this village. So, like with the cinematographer and the production designer, we worked together to make this colorful scenes, and the scenes with the white dunes, the dark scenes, and it's I think it's a representation about Maranhão, this Brazilian state, very colorful and very musical. And I think Maranhão has a lot of similarities with Goa, the kind of the music, the climate, and the landscape. We have a lot of similarities, and I'm hope the film can. Yeah, we are looking for a distribution here in India, and we have the language barrier, but we will have much more similarities in culturally terms. So I think it was this contrast between the colorful and the white ones was something that we are thinking, because the film has combined drama and comedy scenes. In Maranhão, in Brazil, we have a culture, because even in the tough situations, we looking for some comedy, and the people knows how to laugh about themselves. And so we have a drama, but with comedy moments and musical. I like to combine genders, and it's about I tried to put in this film one film that I want to see, films with this characters mixing different things in the same film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question.
My question to Joshua this time. You spoke about, climate change. I think that was a thread that ran through both your opening remarks. How effective do you think movies as a medium are in taking the urgency of this message to the audience? The reason I'm asking you this is because in India, we tend to view films as a source of entertainment primarily. So even when there is a message underlying it, there is still a sort of compulsion to ensure that it is not preachy and that the message is, sort of subtle and subliminal. So, but climate change as a topic is something that has to be in your face to send the message across. So, how would you say we tackle this?
I mean, I think the problem is obviously the beauty of storytelling is you can do whatever you should be able to do whatever you want. And I think that's the point of any art form, right? You send the message how and when you want to. And so, but I think like, for me, for me, the most important thing is telling a story that feels human, but also just something that feels honest to me, to my experiences. And I think that's how you get to make something that feels honest, and then people will feel more connected to the film. So I think it's about making people feel connected to the story so that they take in the message. So it doesn't have to be punchy and hard, because that you can do that. But for me, that's something that when I see stuff like that, it turns me off, So there was that big Hollywood film where there's a meteor crashing into the planet, and they're kind of, what's it called? Don't Look Up or something like that. And it's all it just came across very in your face and very, almost preachy. And I think that's the problem. So I think everyone has a responsibility to be conscious of it, and we just all have to pull our weight in some capacity. It's very easy to say, throwing away one cup is the tiny 0% doesn't make any difference, and sure, maybe, but it doesn't matter. It's a social mentality, right? And we all have to learn to do better with that stuff. But yeah, with storytelling, I think that if you can keep people interested, then every good message is a message received in some capacity. So it's just try to do something, I guess. But yeah, it's important now. Sadly, it's the way it is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
If I can comment it, because this thematic is very interesting. It's very tough to talk about climate changes because the people have the idea that it's a boring theme. And in Betania, that's not the main theme. So we use it the climate changes in very musical way. We have a scene with the fisherman who's trying to take the fish, and they take garbage from the sea, a lot of garbage, because of condition the sea. We have a lot of garbage for a lot of parts of the world going to Maranhão, and he are a very talented percussionist in Brazil. So there's a scene when he starts to make music with the garbage, and the people love because we are showing this situation, but in a not very obvious way, and using the music and the sensation in not only a discursive and narrative way, talking about this directly. It's more like a sensation than an explanation.
Subconscious as well, right? And I think that can be more effective in the long run. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, because the people I think the people don't like to talk about this situation.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they don't want to really.
These artistic expressions are the way to let people also know that we are going through this. We have to make our own individual contributions to live a better life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marcelo, and thank you so much, Joshua. Now, we hope that the discussion and the insights shared today will take the message of the film to a wider audience through the media. Thank you so much. I would like to present a souvenir on behalf of Press Information Bureau. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.